They hide the truth beneath a mountain of lies. But the fire inside us can't be buried forever.
They pile up falsehoods, burying our cries. One by one we dig where the evidence lies. Nesters in the shadows, piecing every clue, shining light on secrets that they never wanted you to view. Smoke and mirrors crumble under our gaze. We won't back down, we're done with their maze. The ops unravel, media feeding gloom. Kids didn't deserve to die, their story needs room. No proof, no confession, plea deals won't suffice. We're taking back possession of the one thing that's right. Truth phoenix rising from the ashes of their lies. Fireballs ready to drop across the looted skies. We'll lift the veil, ignite the spark of justice bright. Stand case by case and bring the truth to light. Whispers in the corridors, they thought we'd look away, but every hidden thread unravels when we slay their charade. No more spin from their headlines, no more silence cries. We're the voice of those forgotten, watch their empire collide. Truth's a phoenix feather rising in the flames. We'll trace every lead, break their iron chains. Oh, break their iron chains. Rising, watch us light the sky. Truth's the weapon they can never justify. One case at a time, we claim what's ours to fight. Rising up together, set the world alight.
This is just the beginning. The phoenix will never stop rising.
Brian has been essentially convicted in the media. He has a right to have this information withheld, brought out in public, so that people can see it's not this neat little package. So people can start to wonder if Brian's innocent. Your Honor, Brian is innocent. So if I talk about things that are in the affidavit, and if I talk about things that we're seeking that the state wants to hide, I think that's fair game for the public to hear.
Woo! Fair game. Everything's fair game for the public to hear. Does everybody believe that? Fair game for the public to hear. Because these court cases, especially the Idaho 4 that we're talking about today, is public information. Now, in a criminal case, will you get all the files? No, not always, because there's a privacy protection, all that good stuff. But typically, you can get any file that you ask for if you know how to do it the right way. Good morning, everyone. Tracy from Bama became a member this morning. Welcome to the nest. We are so glad to see you. Good afternoon, Wendy. I changed the time. I fixed that. No talkie before coffee. I had my coffee today. Caleb in the house, always on time. Nobody's NBA. Hey, guys. Happy Wednesday to you too. Nobody's NBA. And for October 15th, guys, the weather is holding up so nice. Hopefully the weather is holding up in your area. So hopefully the water, the floods have subsided in most of the areas it has. I've been watching the TikTok videos and other videos, just flooding everywhere. I can't believe it. And it happens. If you live in the desert, we don't get all this rain. We're not used to it. And everything floods to where I've seen some people using canoes and rafts in the streets. I will tell you, it's wild. So wherever you're at, Donna Rosa, I hope you are having a fantastic day. Inked Mawa. I always get your name wrong. Just forgive me in advance. Lola, hello. Good morning. Eyes wide open. Court, glad you made it. Kim, finally get to catch a live. Yay! Misinformation, welcome. Please hit the thumbs up always. Housekeeping rules. If you're here and you're here for the first time, just give me a thumbs up. We appreciate it. Team Rivet, good morning, beautiful. Good morning. I hope everyone is doing so well. And you know what? I always start my live, with good intentions, believe me. But if you are sick in your body right now, I pray for a complete healing, every cell to come in alignment with the word, and that is to be healed. So with that being said, I'm going to get right into it because I know you've been waiting. I left you a teaser yesterday, and putting all the pieces together, we are wondering, was Dylan lying? So I'm going to ask you, chat. This is going to be a very interactive chat. You know, some portion of my live always covers a live dig, and that's just the way I roll because I listen to you. And if you ask me something and I don't know the answer or I haven't come across it, I'm going to dig while we're live. So nothing is scripted here except for, you know, a few things that I want to talk about that I caught yesterday or the day before, or I go back and review my notes from months ago, and then I read something and it all falls into place. And I'm thinking to myself, you know, they can hide as much as they want, but what really happened here? Was this a cover up? Was this a psyop, or is it both? And who's behind this? There's got to be a bigger entity behind this than just the University of Idaho. So we know that there were protection orders in place for the defendant, Brian Koberger. His attorney, Ann Taylor, did have a protection order, and the university actually had the protection order that Ann could not share or disseminate information that she learned from the university, from students' private records, from things that happened on campus, off campus. Anything connected to the university was very protected. Now, mind you, at this time, there was a huge deal in place with the University of Phoenix, and that deal fell through. Not because of this case, it might have had some bearing on it, but because of the financial status, and then they pulled out. So, when you start looking into this case, you start wondering why all the secrecy and the transparency. Well, we've heard from parents that there were more investigations going on in the background. And I did uncover that. I did at the time tell a couple of people that, hey, there was some funding for this project in Washington that Koberger was highly selected for. And when I say selected, he went up against a group of highly skilled individuals. Now, you'll probably see I put something on my stream for tomorrow, Koberger and Robinson. What's the connection? Is it a patsy? Is he a fall guy? I believe yes in both situations. And that's just me. And if you're in the wrong live, then if you're not thinking beyond what you're just being told, this might not be the stream for you. But with people coming over saying, oh, this guy pleaded guilty, and yes, a plea deal does not admit guilt. He gave no proffer. He gave no description of what happened. And I guarantee you on October 30th, when Robinson goes to court, it's already on the docket, he's going to plead not guilty. I bet you, hands down, he's going to stand there and he's not going to say a word. The judge will enter it for him. And that's just predictive here. I'm not saying that will happen, but if it does, then we know, obviously, Tyler Robinson is the fall guy. Is he part of a larger operation like we suspected Koberger was? Probably. But what part? We don't know yet. Is this a political movement that's happening in a larger situation? Possibly. And this is just thinking outside the box. So I'm going to throw my banner up, just my legal disclaimer. The content presented on this channel is for information, commentary, and entertainment purposes only. Remember, all the opinions expressed are solely mine, of the creator, and you guys have freedom of speech just like I do to drop whatever you want in the chat. Very open. I'm not political. I'm not very religious. I'm just telling you, this is how I roll. It doesn't reflect the views of any institution, organization, or individuals mentioned unless explicitly stated, and all public information. These are all theories. Discussions shared here are based on public available information only. We are not here to dox, slander, harm, hurt anybody's reputation. And remember, if you are in the public, you are going to be criticized, just like I'm criticized for sharing my content. Right? I'm not here to accuse anyone, defame, or slander. We're just reading documents, putting it all together, looking for the clues publicly, and everyone's innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Okay? Minus a plea deal. minus a plea deal. So just please be respectful if you're here. And if you're here snooping around, trolling, just be quiet, because that's the way you sleuth. That's the best way to sleuth, y'all. And hopefully y'all know that. And people who can't keep their mouth shut, never tell them a secret. I learned that in the military. Yes, I held a top secret background. Yes, I love the Constitution. Yes, I am here because we have our Constitution on the line right now. On the line. So let's get into it. Was Dylan lying? I'm going to ask you real quick. Do you think Dylan was lying? Yes or a no in the chat. This is going to be very interactive. And so I'm just going to take a drink of water. I had my coffee. I think I'm all gone. Yeah, it's all gone. So let's talk about it. Do you think Dylan was lying? I'll give you my answer. Maybe a little white lie. We've already caught Stacy with some fib. Allegedly, a fib that didn't make sense. And if you missed that stream, go back to yesterday. I'm building because, as you know, I am finishing editing my book, but every time I go to edit it, something else comes out. So I add because I want to give you the best digital book on the internet about the Idaho 4. Yes, 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 F yes. Lied, but then twisted. Yes, Court. Rebecca, yes. Lola, yes, yes, yes. Holly, hey, good to see you, honey. Yes. Eyes wide open, yes, yes. Lied, but then twisted, yes. Maybe they didn't update her script, right? Maybe, is that a possibility? Maybe they didn't update her script like Stacy had in her lap when they were talking. Maybe they didn't give her a part 2 or a scene take 2 or whatever they want to call it in Hollyweird. But yeah, I think she's been lying with some truth sprinkled in. And this is a great perception. Is it Taretha? Beautiful name, Perkins. I believe she's lying with some truth sprinkled in. And that is the key to catching somebody. I'm not saying that maybe she's a habitual liar, but I think there's a lot of misinformation and truth to her statement. And I'm not going to say, oh, Dylan's a liar, because Dylan's not a liar. She's not a liar, guys. And I can say that with bold-faced facts. And what I'm going to show you today, she's not a liar, but she can be deceptive. Would you agree to that? Drop a yes or a no. And I'm not playing devil's advocate here. I'm just saying, is Dylan credible? To my knowledge, no, she's not. Because Ann Taylor kept telling the court that she was not reliable. Does it matter what Ann Taylor was saying? Absolutely, when it comes to convicting somebody and giving them the death penalty. Okay, so I promised you yesterday we would start off today right here, and I'm going to pick up right here.
No, you're good. Hang in there, brother. Okay.
Now listen. Okay, JD is walking up. The officer's behind him. Bethany Carr, you can see it to the right. She pulls up. She gets out. You can see Hunter Chapin's car up here. And this needs to be corrected. These two cars were actually said by the FBI to be Hunter Chapin's cars. Ethan Chapin. These two cars, the red Jeep and the black Ford, was said to be by the FBI Ethan Chapin's cars. Both of these cars. Okay? That was said in the reports. Just here with some facts. If you want to see it, I'll pull it up, but let's watch the video. And I want you to listen very closely what Dylan says.
In the main room. This is one of the... pretty much they were in the main room. I heard them dancing and laughing.
Okay. Now, I know yesterday I talked a little bit about this, but I didn't go in further depth. So first she says Murphy and Kaylee were dancing. Okay? Murphy and Kaylee were dancing. Yeah, it's all an act. It might be all an act. These are all little pieces to the puzzle. It might be. But let me go ahead and say this. I'm going to play this one time again. I want you to think about this for a minute.
Pretty much they were in the meeting room. I heard that
Pretty much they. Okay, but first she says Kaylee and Murphy.
dancing and laughing.
They were dancing and laughing. Now, the last time I heard a dog laugh was like on Caillou or that little kids show. I've never heard a dog laugh. Has anybody ever heard a dog laugh? Or dancing? Or did she mean that Kaylee was dancing with Murphy like they showed us previously? Because that would be called foreshadowing. In Hollywood, they're going to show us something before they show us the rest. Right? So that is exactly what we're watching. She referred to the dog as a person. No, she said they. Okay, they. And they were laughing and dancing. I've never heard a dog laugh, and I've never seen a dog dance other than making a dog dance.
Kaylee went upstairs and she screamed because someone's in the room.
Kaylee went upstairs and screamed she heard someone's here. Now, is that possible? Absolutely. Would I go on my own? No. Did Kaylee hear something happening upstairs that made her go upstairs? And then she ran down and said, someone's here? Did she hear something happening upstairs? Possibly.
She ran downstairs.
Then Kaylee ran downstairs. Now, if I saw someone upstairs, I would definitely run downstairs. But what downstairs is Dylan referring to? Is she talking about Dylan ran downstairs the second level, or Bethany? Kaylee, or Kaylee ran downstairs to where Bethany was. Now, if Kaylee ran down to where Bethany was, that's how Bethany saw the flash, the bang, and heard what was going on. And then perhaps Bethany saw the flash of light in the firecracker on the first floor. If Kaylee ran down the main stairs, I hope you're following.
And I kept calling her name and she wouldn't answer. And then I saw the guy. I just locked the door and then I ran downstairs. We don't know what's going on.
I locked the door and we don't know what's going on.
Can you come here with me, please?
Okay. And that's where I stop it. So when you begin to listen to what she's saying, is she telling the truth? Okay. Is she telling the truth? Well, I can tell you one thing for sure. I'm going to jump over here real quick to this video because I need the longer form at this point, and I want to show you 3 key things in her video that she states to the police officer after he tells her, come over here, step over here, to move her away from JD. And this is important. So let me get to that little part, 1504. Okay, hold on one second. I'm on the ball today. I've got my numbers. I'm all ready to go. You should be proud of me. 1504. Let's listen. You know what I need to do? I need to move this over real quick so that I can see on my screen a little bit better. Okay, chat. Let's get this done today. Let's see what we got going on. All right. Why is this not? Hold on one second. I'm going to make this as big as I can so you guys can see this.
Do you mind just waiting over there for me, please? Okay.
Officer says, The officer pulls her away from the crowd of people and JD. And then JD follows Dylan. And then the officer, you just heard him say, no, you go wait over there. Because typically you don't want everybody conversing together. But they've got a whole group of people over here, huddled over here, talking.
No, I overheard you talking about last night.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, the more we know right now, the better. We can start this process.
Yeah.
Somebody will probably be revisiting this interview with you very soon. Again, okay? So you're probably going to have to retell the story quite a bit.
That's fine.
All right. What do you remember seeing? What started?
I remember I was in my room, and I was trying to go to bed, and I heard Kaylee, who, ex-girlfriend, who also has a dog Murphy.
Real fast. Which one is your room?
Kaylee.
Which one is your room?
Oh.
What room are you in?
They totally redacted that. So I think she's telling the story that she was staying in Bethany's room.
You were in that room?
So then it picks up and you hear, because I don't know, she's telling him something.
My room, not Xana's room.
Okay, she went to Bethany's room. She ran down from her room. And I want you to take a look at something back here. In the background, all along here, there is no white van with police officers in it. Okay? There is no van here that was surveillancing the house. There is no van that was there. The police officers were supposed to be surveilling this house, and you heard them on the record and on the video and in their statements that they were due to patrol that area because of the alcoholic things and the nature of rugs in the area. So let's finish listening to what Dylan says.
My room.
And your room is this one right here?
Next to the stairs. That one, Xana's room.
She's pointing to the window all the way further to the left on the second floor, and she's explaining that's Xana's room. That's the truth.
Second floor room.
Second floor.
Okay.
All I heard was I heard her go upstairs. Like, okay, I'm gonna go to sleep now because she's going upstairs.
And you heard who go upstairs?
Kaylee and the dog Murphy.
Now she says she heard Kaylee and the dog Murphy, because in the beginning she was explaining to JD what she saw, right? She wasn't telling the officer the same story. She told JD something totally different just from a few seconds ago, guys.
And upstairs to the very top?
Yeah, that's where her room is.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden I heard her walking up, I heard her scream, and she ran upstairs because she saw someone.
Okay, she heard a scream because Kaylee was walking up. That's possible.
That's what I'm pretty sure she said. Someone's here, and she screamed and just ran downstairs.
She screamed. Now, this is the part that's kind of kludgy to me. She screamed and ran downstairs. Now, she didn't say, yeah, I know, right? She didn't say that what stairs she ran down. Because if she heard Kaylee, was it Kaylee going up the stairs a little and then coming back down and running down the other stairs? That is very possible how Bethany saw the light under the door.
And I called for her name, but I jumped up and locked my door because I was so scared. And then I heard someone in the bathroom, and I heard her crying, and I heard some guy say that you're going to be okay, I'm going to help you.
She heard some guy, so she heard this guy's voice to call him a guy.
And I kept calling her name, but she wasn't answering. And then I opened the door for a second, and I saw this guy, and he was...
I saw this guy. So she saw the guy, and I thought, you know what, I need to go back to the PCA, and if anybody wants to see the PCA, it is at justiceforall.com. And the reason that I put it up there was so that you guys can go back and see the unredacted PCA at Justice for All. That is our community website, because you guys, everything that you do to help support goes to this website. And here is the website, Justice for All. If you go to Commonwealth Koberger link, it's going to show you the actual records in Pennsylvania. Okay, you're getting the records from Pennsylvania. If you scroll down and open December 29th, 2022, search warrant and Koberger inventory and exhibits, you're going to find the PCA in that exhibit. Okay, you open it up and bam, it's right there. And this is so important because this PCA, like Sammy T Mafia said, it's a piece of right? And I apologize. Yesterday I got so fiery, Phoenix, and spicy. I was cursing left and right, and that's normally not like me. So if you have little kids around, I do apologize, but I normally don't unless I get really uptight about something. So I went to the PCA and I went to go look at the PCA to see exactly what they were saying about Dylan's account. Obviously, this PCA is a bunch of dog poop. But she says she saw him. She doesn't say anything. We already know that she didn't say anything about bushy eyebrows. The timeline they've given the story, it's crazy. I mean, I don't know if anybody didn't catch all the script writers and didn't cross their I's and dot their T's to make sure that this was bulletproof. Well, I don't know. So then then they say in the PCA, this is Brett Payne writing the PCA, and then in court testimony, he says, oh, no, this was a living document. Everybody from the agencies was working together. Now, I've never, ever heard agencies working together to get a script or a storyline together. Ever. This is the first freaking case I've heard of this BS. Okay? First time ever. So, goes on to say that approximately at 4:17, obviously distorted video, and then Mortensen stated that she opened her door for the third time. We know that that's a bunch of bullshit. She only said she opened it once, and described the figure as 5'10" taller, not muscular, but athletically built. Now, let's go back over to the video and finish watching.
Insanely tall, but he's wearing all black and like this mask which is covering his forehead and his mouth. And I locked the door and I called and I didn't know what to do.
This was at 4
a.m. Yes. Okay. And so then I just ran down to
you left here?
Yeah, I left my room down to the room. She's that one with the white blinds at the very bottom.
Okay. She said she ran down. Well, we know she runs down.
Insanely tall, but he's wearing all black and like this mask which is covering his forehead and his mouth. And I locked the door and I called and I didn't know what to do.
This was at 4
a.m. Yes. Okay. And so then I just ran down to
you left here?
Yeah, I left my room down to the room.
Okay. So she's saying that she left, that called.
She's that.
But here's the deal. Bethany called her first. This line is all off. They've already talked. They've already worked it out. I've already given you my theory on Stacy Chapin's little boo-boo lie, right? That if it happened the night before, they've had a day and a half to clean up, paint, allegedly. Obviously, this is all speculation, alleged, and get their story in line, because obviously Stacy Chapin says she walked down and she knew her son's body was in there. Well, if you guys know the Greek system, I've gone through this. We did a live and I've showed you some experts and some people who had experience in this background. I do not, thank God, but I mean, to each its own. But if Stacy Chapin walked down the night before and she knew her son's body was in there, they were all trying to figure out what to do. Now, don't get me wrong when I say this. They were trying to come up with a game plan, allegedly. And that's what they do. Because what happened that we were told as a nation publicly was this was an unaliving of 4 beautiful college students in an off-campus home. And they didn't have the killer, no motive. They arrested somebody that was obviously, that looks like a patsy. That was one of their own, One of their own doing what type of work out there? Interesting. Interesting. So Dylan is either part of this whole big cover-up. She's been briefed on what to say and do, because she obviously just said she saw her friend laying in the ground. Her friend is gone. Gone. We see that. We see Xana laying there. We see the bed where allegedly Ethan was. We never see Maddie Mogan. We never see anything about Kaylee. But the two parents that are alumni at this school, we know that Stacy Chapin, yes, we know that for a fact. That's public information. And Steve went to the U of I. They are alumni. Is Steve part of a frat? Don't know. I don't think so. He went to get his college, I don't know when, but it was on his LinkedIn and on his resume. So they are alumni of the U of I. And of course, Stacy and her husband were both given honorary degrees in April of 2023, right after this incident. Interesting, folks. So Dylan says, she points out, well, I went on a tangent, I do apologize. She points out Bethany's room. And listen to what she says. Is she lying?
One with the white blinds at the very bottom.
She went to the room to hang out with Bethany during this. The one with the white blinds at the bottom. And she pointed to the one right that you see off to the side of the window. Let me show you. Let me make sure you can see this on the screen. She points to this window right here. I don't know if you can see my cursor. I changed it. This little window right here. Yep, you can see it now. All right. So that was a true statement. And how do we know that was a true statement? Well, I've shown you Bethany's room before. The room with the white blinds that was busted. And there were other things around. The one with the broken blinds, the shoes laying around, Bethany's hat hanging up on the coat rack, the hat rack. And you can see this. This was Bethany's room. Broken dresser, like it had been rummaged through. But remember, in the document I showed you yesterday, or the day before, my days are kind of running together. There was a document saying that someone sent screenshots of and they said that the roommates were locked in their room because somebody was rummaging through the house. And this looks like point of entry to me. Somebody got in here, broke the blinds, threw up some things around, looking for something in these drawers, and broke the drawer, unless somebody was packing in a hurry to go home for Thanksgiving. Just my thought there. But let's listen to what she says next. That was telling the truth.
I ran down there and we talked, and we just locked the door.
We ran down there and we talked. We locked the door.
We didn't think anything of it. We're like, nothing.
We didn't think anything of it. Well, wait 1 minute, honey. We didn't think anything of it. Well, what did you think was happening? What would you think what was happening, chat, if this happened to you? If this happened to you, what would you think of it?
Nothing happens in Moscow, so
Nothing happens in Moscow. Well, if you haven't watched my live from yesterday, nothing happens in Moscow. Something happened in Moscow.
Tried to go to bed, and then we woke up, and it was weird because none of our roommates were up, and we called all of them. They were not waking up, and so me and like, this is weird. So I called and to come over, and then that's when all this happened.
Yeah, they were calling to say, hey, is it all over? Are we cool? Can we come out now? Can we get out of here?
Who all lives here with you?
Me.
I think it was Friday night, guys. I really do. I can't solidly put some receipts behind that, but I allege that this happened Friday night. All the parents were in town the week before, unless Stacy Chapin slipped up and just added some truth into that, not thinking we were ever going to check.
That one right there.
Who's Santa? Santa?
Santa is the girl in there.
Is the girl that this one?
Yeah.
Okay. How do you spell her name?
Xana.
Do you know if she has a middle name?
Alexis, I think.
Do you know what her last name is?
Kernodal. K. I don't know how to spell it really. K. You know? R-N-O-D-L.
K-A-E-R?
K-E-R.
K-E-R.
N-O.
N-O.
L-E.
D-L-E? Okay.
X-A-N-A.
X-A-N-A. Okay.
Ethan, who's in there, he doesn't actually live here, but he's here like almost all the time.
And everyone over there is crying because they already know.
There's a man that lives here, and
he doesn't actually live here. He's in the room with Xana, I believe.
He's in there right now.
But he doesn't live here, but he's here a lot.
Dylan. You saw Xana. She admitted she saw Xana. Yeah. Not once, but probably more than 2 or 3 times. To admire what they did? I don't know. Allegedly, who knows? They like the Vampire Diaries gore. But, Dylan, come on.
And then there's...
Listen to what she said.
I think...
Do you know what her last name is?
Kernodal. K. I don't know how to spell it really. K. You know? R-N-O-D-L.
K-A-E-R?
K-E-R.
K-E-R.
N-O.
N-O.
L-E.
Who is crying like that, guys? Is that Maisie?
D-L-E?
Jack D is just sitting there like dumbfounded.
Okay.
But remember, Stacy Chapin said that they confiscated their phones and they took them down to the PD. Confiscate means to take away with authority. They didn't hand over their phones. They took them away. Exactly. None of them had their phones out because I think that this video was taken after they had to do the whole reenactment of the call. Because I'm going to tell you, in the MPD documents, it stated that a team had already been on scene and cleared the house.
X-A-N-A. Okay.
Ethan was in there. She just said Ethan was in there. She saw Ethan too, guys. She didn't just see Xana 2 or 3 times. She went in there and saw Ethan.
Actually live here, but he's here like almost all the time.
There's a male that lives here, and he
doesn't actually live here. He's in the room with Xana.
He's in the room with Xana.
I believe.
He's in there right now.
But he doesn't live here, but he's here a lot. And then there's Maddie, Mogan, and Kaylee up top. I don't know where they're at though.
Maddie
Mogan. Maddie Mogan and
Maddie
Kaylee,
Mogan.
Yeah.
And who?
Kaylee Goncalves. She's the girl that I was talking about, Kaylee, who I just heard go upstairs and run back down the stairs.
Okay. And the guy that lives here, his name was what? He's usually
Ethan.
Ethan. And you knew he was here this morning?
No, I didn't know. I had no idea he was here.
Okay.
Now she says
All right, describe the guy that you saw.
I don't think he was a little bit taller than me. And, I couldn't really see much of him, but I'm almost positive he was wearing a full black outfit. And he had this mask that was just over his forehead and over his mouth, and he didn't say anything to me, like, at all. I just shut the door and locked it, because I didn't know what to do. And I think he went out, like, the side door, the sliding door in the kitchen that goes out to the backyard.
Okay.
And then I didn't know anything else, so I called and I was like, I just need to come downstairs and find you because I don't know where anyone else is. And I called Maddie, I called Dana, I called Kaylee, no one would answer.
And this is the only case I've ever seen where they have blocked out individuals' faces. Was that part of the contract deal that they would block them out?
Okay. All right. For Xana.
He raises his hands and like, enough. Did you guys notice this? We can't see her facial response.
Locked it because I didn't know what to do. And I think he went out like the side door, the sliding door in the kitchen that goes out to the backyard.
Okay.
And then I didn't know anything else, so I called and I was like, I just need to come downstairs and find you because I don't know where anyone else is. And I called Maddie, I called Dana, I called Kaylee, no one would answer.
Okay.
Okay. I don't know who he's talking to. If he's saying, okay, enough right now, or he's giving somebody high five over on the other side where the officers are. But listen to the next part.
Regina, do you know how old she is?
She's 20.
Who's Regina? Or did he say Xana?
Oh, and he didn't say anything to me, like, at all. I just shut the door and locked it, because I didn't know what to do. And I think he went out, like, the side door, the sliding door in the kitchen that goes up to the backyard.
Okay.
And then I didn't know anything else, so I called, and I was like, I just need to come downstairs and find you, because I don't know where anyone else is. And I called Maddie, I called Dana, I called Kaylee, no one would answer.
Okay. All right. Regina, do you know how old she is?
Well, maybe he said Xana.
She's 20.
Is she in the sorority house?
Yeah, not anymore.
Okay. She's a student at UVI?
Yes.
Do you have any contact information for her parents?
Okay, I'm going to fast forward it because I don't want to listen to all this stuff. But I need to get to 2747. So hold on right with me. 2747. Is Dylan lying? 2747. Okay, I'm going to play it a little bit before.
It was maybe my height an inch or two higher or lower. I couldn't really remember.
So about 6 foot.
I think so. Around there.
Okay. How was he built?
Okay, she's talking about the perpetrator. How was he built?
Fat, skinny, stocky.
More like skinny, but like basketball player kind of skinny, like not too
She just said basketball player, built like a basketball player.
skinny, but like almost fit skinny in a way.
Not a football player, not a bodybuilder, not somebody like highly built and athletic. She described a basketball player who is probably a little bit taller than her.
That's what I think. I don't know for sure.
And then the voice, he said, when he said those words, you didn't recognize that voice before.
I didn't recognize him or his voice. I mean, I also couldn't see him, but I didn't recognize that voice at all. Didn't even cross.
So we know within the first 24 hours, the mayor said this was a crime of passion / a robbery. Okay. Do we know that that was accurate? Maybe, maybe not. We know within the first couple of days, the coroner said this was a butcher knife, not a K-bar knife, a butcher knife. And how many knives did they collect in evidence that we saw from the 1122 King Road? How many knives were found in evidence at the 1122 King Road? Does anybody know the answer to this one? How many knives was there found in evidence at 1122 King Road? Let's see how many of you guys get this. Drop your number below. How many were found at the crime scene? How many knives were found at the crime scene at 1122 King Road when the officers or the coroner came in? How many knives? I'm going to have to do a drawing. Okay, so Kim Egg says 0. Regina says 4. Caleb says 1. Glenn 1. Debbie 0. Misinformation 2. Amanda 2. I don't know the answer. Well, that's honesty, right? Well, let me show you how many knives were collected at the 1122 King Road. 0. Lola 7. They took 2. Whoa, you're good, Lola. You've been paying attention. Okay, I'm going to show you how many knives that they found at the 1122 King Road after the crime. They highlight the knife sheath. Okay, there's the sheath they say they found. One steak knife. Who did we see with the steak knife? One steak knife, that's 1. Okay, and let's see what else. Did they find another knife? Yep, here's another knife right here. They took it and they put it into evidence right here. All right, there's that one. And were there any other knives that they took into evidence? They took a sheath. They took a Kershaw knife, and I've showed you what a Kershaw knife is before. And they took a steak knife. I think that's the only knife that we see. Those two knives they took. And a knife sheath. I don't see no K-bar on here. Obviously, they've never found the weapon. They said that they've done everything they possibly can to find it. Okay. But the coroner said it was a butcher knife. Well, I don't know about that one. The Kershaw knife, don't know who it belonged to. No one ever claimed it. They never talked about it. And then the steak knife. Whoa, a steak knife. Okay. Well, the guy looked like a basketball player. And there were two knives found at 1122 King Road. But listen to what... We'll get back to the knife part. So let's listen to Bethany in the interview real quick.
So is Murphy your dog?
Kaylee's dog.
Kaylee's dog?
Kaylee and her ex-boyfriend's dog.
Okay. So you heard Murphy bark right after you heard what you thought was a firecracker?
Yeah, something like that, but he like, I don't know, dogs bark at random things. And sometimes when he's happy, he'll bark.
Okay. It didn't sound like an angry growl or anything like that, just a bark?
I don't really know. I was like half asleep.
Okay.
It just sounded like bark.
So, hear the firework, kind of see a spark underneath the door. Mm-hmm. Murphy barks. What did you hear after that?
Pretty much nothing.
Nothing?
That's it.
Okay. And you thought maybe someone was just in the kitchen at that point?
Yeah, just like someone accidentally fell into the table or something.
Okay.
She was like with Murphy.
Do you know about what time that might have been? Do you have any
like
idea?
4 or something. I tried to call all of them at like 4:20ish around that time, and no one was answering. I thought they just went to bed or something.
Okay. What happened after that?
And called me, and she said she thinks she saw someone, and I didn't know like really what to think of it, because sometimes we think we hear things a lot.
She said she thinks she saw someone. Well, Dylan just said that she saw someone
in the house, but it's usually just Ethan walking around. But she came, I told her to come in my room, and she could sleep with me, and we could lock the door, just stay in there just in case.
Now, if Bethany indeed was in the basement, and one of their friends had text messages of a group chat saying somebody was in the house rummaging through the house, is Dylan really telling the truth? Because Bethany seems to give a different account.
And that's all I know. I fell back asleep.
You didn't hear anything else?
Mm-mm.
Okay. No one else talking?
Didn't hear something.
Okay. Did you make it to your room then?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What time do you think she got in your room?
Around like 4:20, 4:30.
Well, Dylan wasn't lying about that. That's the only thing that lines up with Bethany that she said.
Okay, about the same time.
Yeah.
Where's her room located to yours?
I'm the only one on the bottom floor. Right
That was truthful.
at the front door.
Okay.
And then you go up the stairs. And Xana's room, and Xana's room, the kitchen.
Well, then all this happened and they went back to sleep. That's what they're saying. Absolutely.
And then upstairs is Maddie and Kaylee's.
Okay. And where's Mojo?
Right by the kitchen.
Right by the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And did she say anything to you when she got into your room?
She said she thought she saw a man, but I didn't know what to think of it. I was like still half asleep, and I was like, I didn't know what to do.
Was Bethany the only one that was truly asleep and left out of the loop?
It didn't sound like I didn't hear screams, I didn't hear anything. I didn't really know.
Okay. Okay. And notice she didn't say anything more than she just saw someone.
Yeah, that's all I remember her saying.
So your bed then, if I'm looking at the right house, you have a parking lot, front door, and your bedroom's just to the right? Okay.
Bethany, that's not your room. You know that. Unless she's like really super confused, and I don't want to make any statements about, I'll just skip it.
And that's where you slept from by the time you finally got into your room, around
Was this meant to cause confusion?
4-ish or so. Actually, before that.
So like 3 something.
Yeah. So you were in there sleeping. Okay. Dylan got to your room maybe somewhere around 4:20ish, but Dylan was already home at that point. You knew that Maddie.
Now, why did he say, this is one of the key points I have written down, why did he say Dylan was already home at that point? Did Dylan actually leave the house when the witnesses saw her outside at 2 a.m. walking away with a group of friends from the house? And Bethany was sleeping in the house? Has anybody caught this before? Listen to what Blaker says.
Before that.
So like 3 something.
Yeah. So you were in there sleeping. Okay.
So you were in there sleeping, okay.
Dylan got to your room maybe somewhere around 4:20ish, but Dylan was already home at that point.
She went to the room, but Dylan was already home at that point.
You knew that Maddie and Kaylee were home.
You knew that Maddie and Kaylee were home. That group of girls that saw Bethany and Dylan leave at 2 a.m., they were witnesses to seeing them leave. And I believe the YR girl that is the friend of Bethany, close friends with Bethany, by the way. How close? Well, I remember seeing, let's just see how close. Hold on a minute. Let's just see how close they were. There's a lot of pictures that are just out there on the internet for everyone to see. I know that Bethany was close friends with, obviously, Emily. Well, not Emily, with Xana. And there's a couple of other pictures with Bethany that I believe. See, because you got to remember the clique and the group of friends you hang out with. Some mingle and some don't. Some only hang out with those who are really super close. So Dylan is closer to Bethany and the other group of girls than she was with Kaylee's friends. Remember that, because the next stream is all about Hunter and Emily. Remember that.
Do you know when anyone else in the house got home?
I don't know when Xana or Ethan got home. I didn't hear them come in or anything.
Okay.
And I've got a theory on the Xana and Ethan because they couldn't locate them anywhere. But see, Ethan went to the dance, the party, the formal with his sisters for sorority. And Xana couldn't go. Xana couldn't go because she was not invited. So where was Xana at? Was Xana somewhere else? We know by witness accounts she was at another party after. Hold on to your hat. That's why it was true that she might have been texting her dad at 12 a.m. because that party at the frat of Maisie's was not over yet, and Ethan went. Hunter went too. Hold on.
Okay. And last time you saw Xana and Ethan was at the Sigma guys? Mm-hmm. Okay.
So they must have met back up at Sigma Chi after the formal was over. Okay. So was Dylan lying? No, Dylan was not lying. That was Bethany's bedroom. The timeline matches up to their text. And obviously it looks like the blinds, and this was the point of entry. Because remember, they were CSI was taking pictures all around there. Yes. So let's go back real quick I know I'm jumping around, but let's go back to this knife. Why can't I do this today? Let's go back to the knives that were taken. So 2 knives were taken out of the crime scene on the 14th and the 16th because they found a Kircher knife, and it was taken out on the 16th of November. So not only did they go back to look for, obviously, more evidence, but they took a Kircher knife. Now, I'm going to ask you guys, it's going to be interactive. Let's play together. About how many knives do you have in your house? How many knives do you have in your house? Yeah, Ethan was his sister's +1. Yes. How many knives do you have in the kitchen? I mean, I would probably say I know exactly how many cutting knives I have. I know how many steak knives I have. So I have a set of 12 steak knives, and I have a butcher block that has about 1, 2, 3, 4, because I have obviously a sourdough bread cutter, a bread knife, a butcher, a sanku, and a paring knife. So, and then I know in my other drawer, I've got all my separate stuff for my baking, and that's probably about 6 more knives in the kitchen. So I probably have at least maybe 5 large, 1 butcher, maybe around 17, 18. I mean, seriously, right? But I would say on average, I don't know, let's just, since we're live, let's see. Let's just ask the question. What's the average knife number in a household? Let's see what it says on average. Oh, this one's thinking longer for a better answer. It depends on if you're a chef or a cook, if you cook a lot or not. I don't know what it is for a college person, but it says the answer, most households have 4 to 12 knives, okay? 4 to 12 knives using a few core kitchen. Yeah, because I have 1 or 2 really good knives I don't want anyone else to touch. Many kitchens recommend 3 to 5 core knives. Most own steak dinner knives. 4 to 8 are common. And knife enthusiasts, yada, yada, yada. Okay, so you get the idea of where I'm going. But they come back and they say out of all the knives in the house within the first 48 hours, we're taking these 2. We're taking these 2 specific knives. A Kershaw knife, which I've shown you before, what it looks like, and a steak knife. What the freaking hell are they taking a steak knife for, guys? And then it hit me. This is speculation only. Only speculation. Only speculation. Well, you know, let's just watch it. There's the steak knife. The mysterious steak knife that wasn't there that then appears there right after.
I'm 13. Okay, get back.
Get out, get out. Turns around and bam. Pulls it out of his hoodie or his pocket and bam, puts the knife there.
Okay, stay back there, please.
Not only is Brian C. Koberger Houdini, but so is Hunter Johnson. 2 magicians in the same story. Bam. Nobody else there, comes back out, and then the knife is now on the table. And he has his hands up in the air like Chris Watts.
Slow down.
Slow down, dude. You're walking into a crime scene.
There's 2.
Does that guy have gloves on? Does that dude have gloves? I don't think so. I think he goes back out and says, I need gloves. Touching the banister rail.
Okay, stay back there, please.
You hear the knife drop on the table. Plump. You hear the knife drop.
I don't know if they're still in here or not.
I don't know if they're still in here or not. Well, who are they, Hunter? Who are they? I don't know if they are still in here or not. Who are they? Because obviously the prosecuting, Bill Thompson, the prosecuting attorney, he uses the word they. Dylan uses the word they. And now Hunter says they. They who?
1370. Okay, stay back there, please.
Boom. He drops it on the table. What the hell are we watching? Are we watching a really bad show? Are we watching one of those, like, College Hill Beat shows put together? Because I'm going to tell you. I'm going to drop a video. I want to tell you right now, but I'm going to drop a video today that you guys are going to watch. I want you to watch it. I want you to share it. I found a nugget of information you will want to tell everybody, just like I found about the underwear. You are going to want to tell everybody this story. Because I'll tell you, the state of Idaho is busted. They are so freaking busted. My goal wasn't to find out what happened. It was to catch them in lie after lie after lie. They are so freaking busted. Everyone who was in on this should righteously be held accountable. Misleading the public is one thing, but lying and perjury, I cannot believe the shit we are watching. Whoever made this up or whoever polluted an actual crime and pinning it on a fall guy that perhaps is on the inside trying to figure out what happened or cover up, this is awful. And these people should be held accountable. I'll give you a teaser before I go today. I gave you the knife teaser. Now everyone knows they took 2 knives out of that house. Okay? 2 knives they took out of that house. And, you know, me being ex-military, I kind of look into things a little bit differently. I look at the players. I look at the main witnesses, the main first on the scene players. And I think to myself, why were they put in that position? Who allowed them to be in that position? Who allowed this to happen? I'm going to show you a video I made a long time ago. A long time ago. Watch this video.
Well, I'd like to send a shout out to my family, April, Hunter, Hayden. I love you, I miss you, and to all the rest of the family, wherever you're at, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and I hope to see you soon.
One more time, listen.
Well, I'd like to send a shout out to my family, April, Hunter, Hayden. I love you, I miss you, and to all the rest of the family, wherever you're at, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and I hope to see you soon.
Now, I had this video public and I had to make it private. You would not believe the backlash that I got on this video for sharing this video. Tech Sergeant Jonathan Johnson sends a greeting to Washington, District of Columbia from Camp Sahala. And this was a holiday season in 2012. Yes, allegedly this is Hunter Johnson's dad. Yes, we're too close. Yes, we have the answers. Yes, this might have been political, allegedly. But there are things at a higher level going on. And when you hit the nail on the head, boy, they come out of the woodwork, because they probably have paid millions and millions of dollars to push this into our brains. Into our brains. To make us confused. What really happened? Well, I believe humbly, in my own opinion, Dylan was lying. Yes, she told some mistruths, but yes, she did tell some truth. But was she lying for her own benefit, with a big payday to be promised, with the alumni to get behind her? Was that the plan, Dylan? To play the role that you were supposed to? We'll sell the biggest story you could possibly get, and you'll get paid. But we won't pay you. Our alumni and our public will. Don't worry, we got you covered. We got you covered. So, when you think about the story, and you think about what we're watching, and we catch all the missing pieces that they don't want us to see, you got busted. Oh, I was muted. Oh, that's weird. Okay. So, when you get to the facts and you get to the truth of the matter, they want to silence you because they don't want you to know what they've done. They don't want you to know. There is so much going on. My next episode is going to be about Hunter and Emily. You don't want to miss it. And then it's going to be so busted. The video that I'm going to release is called Busted. And you are going to want to share that. As always, every single one of you is so important. Make sure you leave some hearts as you exit out. Make sure you leave the thumb on the button. Make sure you go to Justice for All, because what is Justice for All that I started a while back? It is empowering your civil and constitutional rights that they want to take away slowly. But I think they're on fast track. Because honestly, the next stream I'm talking about is Tyler Robinson and Koberger. I'm giving you the facts. There's going to be a court update on the Tyler. Hopefully we'll see some more documents in the Idaho 4. I've been here saying this all along for a very long time. And I'm going to give you some keys and tips how not to be hoodwinked. As always, you guys are so faithful. Thanks for jumping in the stream. Make sure you share it with at least one person today. And you know what, Idaho, you're on notice. You are so busted. And so is Utah. Be well, y'all.